Yo guys, welcome back to another video. So today is the first video that we're going to literally sit down and talk about the pregnancy. Obviously the most recent video is our family's reactions, but that was filmed a long time ago, so this is the first time we get to sit down.
Forever, doesn't it?
It feels like forever.
We have been keeping this footage for so long, and to finally put it out there and actually say it, like, oh my god, we're having a baby.
I actually accidentally deleted half of Saffron's reaction, but we still got the initial reaction, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, all that pressure of not deleting footage is now gone because it's out, it's in the universe, it's on the web.
Even just like accidentally sleeping something out, because one thing that I said to myself, I was like, right, when I next have a baby, I'm just not gonna like throw like any hints, because I don't want to feel like I'm throwing hints here and there, you know. I'm gonna tell people when I'm ready to tell people. So yeah, I'm just glad that it's out there, and we said it when we were ready to say it. So should we jump straight into the first question? Nee has all the questions on her phone, so right.
I
put a Q&A the other day as soon as like pretty much we announced it, saying we need to sit down and talk about it, because I feel like when we announced it, we sort of like said quite a lot of things that were going on, and people were like so confused. But the first question, and by far one of the most frequently asked ones, is, was this planned? I thought that you wanted your third one after the wedding. You mentioned of being sure you wanted more anytime soon. When did this change? I feel like in every single Q&A we did from like the past 2 years, apart maybe like the last one, this question came up like, do you want any more babies? And we were just both like, no, not now.
I think I've always sort of said behind the scenes to Nee, I feel like I want to have the baby now or never. Like, I want them to be close.
If it was Casey, he would probably have about literally 10 children. Like, I feel like I was probably the one being more like held back.
I mean, yeah, for sure. And I sort of went with you with that. I was like, okay, if you don't want any yet, then okay. But then I think it got to a stage where I said to Nee, I was like, I really think we should have another baby now.
I'll tell you what.
If we don't, then I don't feel like I'm gonna want to have another baby in a couple of years' time.
Right, so I'll tell you what changed my mind. So obviously I feel like the biggest, both of us always said we wanted 3 kids, like always. And having Lake was different than having Harlow, right? We didn't really sleep properly for like 2 years, and I don't want to jinx it because it's just like recently, isn't it, that he's actually going to bed and staying in his bed. So I feel like that was probably one of the first things that was holding us back. And
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Lake's sleeping pattern with a baby last year would have been,
oh, that's no way we could have made that happen.
Would have been the worst. No. So yeah, I mean, as soon as he starts sleeping well, we're like, okay, now we've got time to be awake with a different child.
Now we can actually have a little bit more of energy, so you know, it could work. Also, I feel like the one thing that really got to me is obviously like getting married is like one of my biggest dreams. I've always dreamt about that, and I'm so happy that like both Harlow and Lake are able to be at the wedding. And then I always thought, like, deep inside it makes me a little bit sad that it's not like the whole family complete, you know, like knowing that, because I always knew I wanted to have another baby, and like thinking that that baby wasn't going to be present made me feel a bit weird. So
I think a lot of people are also getting confused about the wedding being this year, which we have always said it, well, maybe we said a couple of years ago it's going to be this year. But for the last year or so, we have been saying it is actually always going to be next year, hopefully at the end of summer next year. So the wedding should still be going ahead at the same time as planned. And if it is pushed back, then it would have been pushed back anyway. Like, I don't think the baby's going to make any difference.
Yeah, the baby's going to be almost one at the wedding.
The baby's not going to impact any of the dates of the wedding. So we are always still going to get married when we're going to get married, whether we have the baby or not.
Like we said, we're gonna have the family complete, which is amazing. So the next question, I'm gonna merge 2 questions into one. So the first one is, when did you find out that you were pregnant with baby number 3? And then, did you know that you were pregnant before you tested? Did you have any symptoms and all that?
We found out pretty quick. We found out, what, like a week into pregnancy, like just before we went to Brazil.
Yeah, pretty much. So the thing is, I actually was testing early. I know it's gonna sound really stupid. You probably think like, oh, you should have known this. You're gonna about have 3 kids, but I was testing it way too early. So I had like a really strong headache, and it wasn't coming up that I was pregnant. And then I tested it again, like I said, 2 days before I went to Brazil, and I found out I was pregnant. But then because I found out pretty early, I definitely think I go a little bit like ahead of myself. I felt like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I feel fine. I have so much energy. Obviously I don't feel sick. And again, I probably should have known better than this, but you don't get all the symptoms straight away. And I feel like because you're in that moment and you just find out that you're pregnant, it's a bit of a shock, isn't it? Like, you don't really believe it at first because you don't have the symptoms. So then it kind of like really hit me halfway through Brazil.
So I'm in Brazil with Saf, because Saf didn't know about the pregnancy then either. So like we were trying to hide these symptoms from Saffron, so she didn't find out before like we were ready to tell anyone. So yeah, it was a bit weird, because Saf was like, why is like Nee like so tired all the time? Like, why is Nee not coming out with us? So, oh, I think she just wants to spend some time with her mom, like she hasn't seen her for ages.
Well, it was a bit of both. Like, I was sort of like trying to catch up and see as many people that I haven't seen in like 2 years. So then when I was doing that, I used my energy for that. And then the other half of the time, I was just feeling too sick and like too ill to be going out and, you know, doing all these things. When is the baby going to be born?
Right, so this baby is going to be born, well, the due date is in October anyway. So obviously I don't know when it's going to be born. Could be early, could be late, never know. But
exactly.
I would guess October is the month, if I had to guess a month.
And if I had
to be born.
Guess, I'll probably say early-ish. I don't think we would have like 2 weeks or anything like that, but Harlow was like 5 days overdue. Lake was born on his due day, like bang on.
The only time Lake's ever listened.
So like I can't imagine going over, because you know, I feel like it's going backwards. I could be surprised, we don't know, we'll see. Are you going to find out if having another boy or a girl?
We are indeed, and we're so excited to do the gender reveal. The only problem with the gender reveal right now is because Nee's mum obviously flew over because of the surgery, which I'm sure we're going to get into that very soon in the next couple of questions. Nee's mum flew over like without meaning to, like she was never planning to come over, and now she's here and we can find out the gender while she's here. We're like, okay, we need to rush this through now. So we are planning to do the gender reveal literally within the next couple of weeks before Nicole's mum goes home.
Weeks, yeah. Part of me always felt like, oh, maybe like I will have a surprise.
No, not part of you. Nee has said ever since we found out, like, I'm definitely not going to find out the next time. I'm definitely not. I was like, yes, you definitely will. Yes, you definitely will. No, I won't, no, I know. I was like, well, I really want to. Well, I don't. I was like, okay, whatever, we won't find out then. Knowing that as soon as he gets to it, Nee went, I really want to find out now. Literally at 10 weeks, she's like, oh, we could do a test now. I'm like, Nee, you said you didn't want to find out at all. Now you're like, want to pay for an extra private test.
Yeah, I feel like, I just think it's nice to like prepare, you know, like buy things and like prepare yourself. What are the kids feeling about being big siblings? This is actually really cute.
Well, Harlow's already a big sibling. But
yeah.
This time she realizes she's going to be a big sibling.
Yeah. It's funny because like if you ask her now how many siblings she has, she'll say 2. Like she knows it's happening. Like she's so excited. So when we first told them, like Harlow's reaction was so cute, wasn't it? Like she actually got really emotional. She's like, oh my god, I've got a baby in your tummy. And then Lake
was going, no baby, no, no, no. Whoa, whoa, Lake, no baby.
And it's crazy because like we knew Harlow was going to be really excited, but we thought like she's going to be excited at first when she finds out that she's having a sibling, and then she's going to sort of like calm down. But no, every single day she talks about the baby. She comes and she kisses my belly, doesn't she? She makes like lots of drawings about the baby. Lake has definitely warmed up to the idea now.
Yeah, Lake now also gives her baby kisses and stuff like that. And Nee's got like an app on her phone where it says like the size of the baby.
And like the weeks.
It's got like the baby in the womb that you can like rotate to see like what they look like at the moment. And both kids believe that that is like a live action camera that's inside Nicole. And they're like, oh look. And Harlow always looks at the bum, doesn't she?
Like,
Harlow zooms in on the bum to see if she can see if it's a boy or girl. Yeah.
She's so excited. She's so excited for the gender reveal because she knows how it works now as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, we're not going to say what she thinks or wants, but she knows what she wants to wear, so it matches what she's hoping the outcome to be.
So yeah, they're both very excited. I just can't wait. Like they have such an amazing bond. They're so close, and I just know that the new baby's gonna feel very welcome. So the next question is about symptoms and was this pregnancy different than the first and the second one? And this is something that I sort of mentioned on Instagram, and absolutely yes. Like I would say that no matter, well personally, no matter how many times I've been pregnant, you just never know what to expect. It's never going to be the same. You're always going to have different symptoms, and not that I forgot what it's like, but because it's been so different every single time, I feel like I was like I'm a first time mom type thing. Like this pregnancy, I have definitely felt a lot more ill than usual. So I'll probably say that with Harlow was very sick, like felt very, very sick. With Lake, I had like days here and there. Obviously sickness was still present and never really been through pregnancy sickness free. Whereas this time is like, it's not even morning sickness, it's like waking up feeling sick, going to sleep feeling sick. I even had like food, how do you say, food aversion? Basically like I would even struggle to think, if I were to think of a food and a smell, that would make me feel sick. Like I was cooking dinner, and I know it sounds very dramatic, but it's true. Like I was literally like, my eyes were watering, I was crying because I felt so sick, and like just smelling the food I was cooking for like kids, for like Lake and the kids was...
Lake and the kids.
For Casey and the kids. I don't want to say it's horrible because I don't like you know, talking bad about food, but you know, if you've been pregnant, you know the feeling, you know what it's like. So yeah, it definitely hasn't been easy. And then I also definitely feel like I felt really, really tired, which is one thing that I sort of expected because I had low iron on my previous pregnancies. And then recently, kind of recently, my newest symptom is heartburn, which I definitely experienced with Lake, but like later on when like my tummy is bigger. So to be experiencing heartburn now is definitely like a new thing for me. As soon as I thought I was over feeling sick and I was like, okay, I got to a good stage on my second trimester, I got hit with appendicitis. This is also leads on to the next question, the next part of the Q&A, which is about having surgery when pregnant, which is something that obviously we didn't expect, we didn't plan, we didn't, you know.
I mean, it was like an emergency surgery, right? You got rushed into hospital and like the next day you're having surgery. Like,
yeah, it was out of nowhere. I mean, I say that, but... And
it's really scary having a surgery of something removed from your stomach.
Yeah, well,
whilst you've got a baby inside there. It's so scary to even just comprehend, let alone to actually go through. So
there's like quite a few questions. I feel like we're gonna do like a quick story time because the questions are like, why did you have surgery? What happened? What is it like being pregnant? Are you even allowed to have surgery and pregnant? As Casey said, it was like an emergency surgery. It wasn't something I was planning doing at all. So I'm just gonna quickly jump in on what exactly happened. So I actually had my friend here from Brazil. And I started feeling like unwell a few days beforehand, and I feel like this is why it's a little bit tricky because when you're pregnant, I feel like you're expected to feel pains kind of like all the time. Obviously your tummy is growing, there's so many hormones, so even from like the few days before leading to it, I couldn't really eat. Remember, I completely like lost my appetite. Hormones, I didn't really think too much into it, and then like I was getting tummy aches. Definitely like on the day that I actually got rushed into the hospital, I went to the gym in the morning. And then I was going to the cinema, and then I thought maybe it could be like pains from the gym. You just kind of like carry on what you're doing. And then I actually went to the cinema with my friend, and literally out of nowhere I just got hit with the worst. I couldn't even sit straight. I was sitting in the cinema chair and I was like moving, trying to like feel comfortable, and then like 15 minutes into the movie I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna have to go home. And then I rang Casey like from my car because I actually drove to the cinema, and I was like, hey, I really don't feel well, can you come pick me up?
So Nia originally said that she was going to drive home when she first spoke to me, and then she got to the car and
I was getting
like
worse and worse.
So much pain, she was like crying. She's like, I'm gonna drive home. Basically, I don't know why she said that because she obviously was in no state to drive home. She was not going to drive home. By the time I got to, I was feeding Lake at the time. Harley was at her friend's house, so I was like, right, Lake, come on, got Lake straight out the chair, put him in the car, drove straight down to the marina where Nicole was at the cinema. Picked her up, she was like crying, couldn't talk.
Even sit down.
She'd left her friend in the cinema as well. She just told her friend that she was going to the toilet.
I was like, maybe I'm gonna go to the toilet. Like everything happened so fast. I was trying to think of something to like get rid of the pain, but it gradually just got like from 0 to 100. But
anyway, we're only like 5 minutes from the hospital at the marina, so like we went straight to the hospital, and like I said, I had Lake in the car. You can't just park in like ambulance bays and stuff, obviously, and I didn't have time to go and park and then walk 10 minutes back to where we were, so we've gone straight into like the bit where the ambulances are. Got Nicole out, like basically shouted for like an emergency person, so someone's come straight away with a...
It sounds so dramatic.
Well, it is dramatic. Like you're like screaming in pain with a stomach, you're pregnant, like obviously.
I know.
So they literally come, run, get her in a wheelchair, start running off. I then have to drive back to go get Harlow, send my mum to go see
tell my friends that I'm in the hospital.
Yeah, ring Nicole's friend and be like, hey, she's not in the toilet, by the way, she's in the hospital. Like, it was just like crazy. The next day is where we found out it's appendicitis.
Yeah, so
right?
I got treated like, so straight away they did like my blood test and things like that, and they found out that I had like a really high infection, and they're like, okay, it could be appendicitis. Then they sent me for the scan, and that's when they confirmed it. And just as like a coincidence, my dad, this is what he does, he's a gastro surgeon. So he does appendicitis, like stones,
gallstones,
like all this sort of
kidney
things.
stones.
This is what he does every single
It
day.
operates in the stomach.
Yeah, that's like his job. He does like 2 to 3, depending on how complicated it is, like operations a day. So obviously I wrote him straight away, and I was really worried obviously about the baby. I wasn't like, so obviously appendicitis is not nice, but I know it's something quite common. I know it happens, like it's like the most common surgery that you could have, so I know it's not necessarily dangerous. And in my case it didn't burst, thank goodness. So it wasn't like something that I was super worried about, like, oh my god, I need you, you know, because on like a normal routine, if I wasn't pregnant, I knew that I was gonna get it done and I'll be absolutely fine. But obviously the first thing that comes into mind in this situation is the baby. So I was like really scared. So I rang my dad, and he was like, it's fine, honestly, you're gonna be fine. I've done things worse. I once had to open someone like literally from top to bottom when they were like pregnant to, you know, do something else, so you'll be fine. He was like really reassuring me, which was,
I was gonna say, like, he was super reassuring, like.
Yeah, he was, honestly, because obviously the doctors at the hospital are trying to tell me about the worst case scenario in a way, because they have to prepare you for the worst.
They have to warn you of all the risks.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
So they have to say to you, this could
well,
end
they're
the
quite
baby's
blunt.
life,
Yeah, they're quite
Like,
blunt. They're like, obviously you're being put into general
anesthetic.
Anesthetic.
You have to sign a contract to say if anything happens to the baby or anything like that.
Yeah,
like.
so they're going to say that there is a risk that you could lose the baby, and they say that because they have to say it. But I feel like having my dad telling me like, oh no, it's fine, it happens every day, like, you'll be absolutely fine, it's definitely will kind of like got me through it.
Because actually they put me straight through without letting me say bye, and I was like, hey, can I like say bye before she has her surgery? So I went into the surgery room to say like goodbye and stuff, and I remember just saying to Nee just beforehand, just remember, don't worry about this. Your dad said this is as general as it gets. Like,
as in, like, it happens a lot.
This happens every day to thousands of people, and it's fine. Like,
but that was the last thing I remember, like, before I got put to sleep.
And I gave your tummy a little kiss, and I was like, right.
And yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. I had keyhole surgery. Personally, like, obviously I spoke to my dad about it, and like, if you have open surgery, you take a little longer to heal. And what I felt with keyhole surgery, they literally have to like pump your stomach with air, and you have lots of like leftover air on your body. So I feel like the first 2 days were horrible. It was like, you know, really horrible. But now it's been like over a week, and I feel pretty much fine. I still have like an incision on top of my belly button, which it still hurts me a bit, but overall I'm good, I'm fine, we're cured, and yeah,
we're on the mend.
We're on the mend, and I don't feel as sick as before, so I feel like I finally, I don't want to jinx it again, I feel like I finally reached a really good state in the pregnancy. So.
That concludes this Q&A. Guys, there is going to be so much more content coming now, because one of the reasons we haven't been filming content is because Nee hadn't been feeling well, and we didn't want to be one of those channels that just complain about, oh, I feel ill all the time. Without any context of why she actually feels ill. Like, it just would have seemed that she's being overly dramatic, but actually she's pregnant.
The whole thing sounds very dramatic, but we're over it now, it's all good.
So guys,
thank you so much for watching.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you in another video very, very soon. Peace.
Bye.